Yeah, $100,000 challenge from MrBeast. Hi everyone, let's start. Yeah.
Alright guys, I have $100,000 here. They're gonna have 1 hour to spend it. You have 1 hour to spend it. It's 100 grand. Go.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This is so much money. I don't know what to do with it. I gotta make sure that I spend it smartly, right? I don't want to waste a penny of this. What should I buy? Should I buy a computer? Should I buy an iPhone? Should I buy a Lambo? Can I buy a Lambo? I should look up whether I could buy a Lambo. I could buy so much Diet Coke. So let's see, we got $50 for food and expenses. We got $20 for an additional tip. We can even give a little bit more for tip to incentivize people. $25 for the cab to get there. Carry the one, which
Time's up.
What? No. No, it can't be. I haven't even gotten to sales tax yet. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Hello.
Where we aren't afraid to make it rain.
Oh, make it rain. Money. It's a bit much, but true.
$1 bills. Apparently, since that's all we can afford.
With Monopoly money.
Oh, and apparently a €5, because we're internationally friendly. And speaking of money, today we're covering...
Ouch. That bird. I saw it.
a different sort of game. Now, you may know MrBeast as someone who really wants you to subscribe to PewDiePie and isn't afraid to plaster that message on billboards, buses, or heck, in the middle of the Super Bowl. Now, if you're not familiar with his work, a quick crash course in his content includes videos of him trying to complete mundane tasks, like trying to keep a fidget spinner going for 24 consecutive hours, or watching paint dry, to outlandish stunts like trying to catch a bullet in midair with magnets. I gotta knock you on that one, buddy. That one was a little bit clickbaity. And filling a house with 10 million Legos. Or, if you're me, you might know him as the YouTuber your wife keeps reminding you is from North Carolina, since that's the state she's from.
Oh my gosh! Do you know that MrBeast is from North Carolina?
Oh my gosh! Do you know that?
Wait, really?
Yes!
Oh, that's so cool.
I know.
Huh. Oh, hey, did you see the new MrBeast video?
No, he's from North Carolina, you know.
Yeah, I do know. You've told me.
It's awesome.
$100,000 to streamers.
MrBeast? Mm-hmm. He's from North Carolina, you know. He is. I'm from North Carolina.
I can't. And while there's tons of
Gosh, you can't win.
people who do interesting stunts here on YouTube, what I find so fascinating about MrBeast is his brilliant strategy of giving back. One of the things he's most known for is taking brand deals, his merch or some other kind of donation, and instead of pocketing it or doing something silly like, oh, I don't know, paying a lot of editors to make unbelievably intricate edits for your voiceover format, he instead uses the money to give back to people in the community, pull off his stunts, or perform interesting social experiments. Most admirably, he does these giveaway videos, which have included donating to everyone from Twitch streamers to waiters and delivery people to thousands of dollars for the homeless. Generally, it's about philanthropy, which is awesome, but there are other times it's more about seeing ridiculous sums of money put to use. And that finally brings us to the topic for today's episode, which is about one of these MrBeast videos where he divides $100,000 among some friends of his and gives them 1 hour to spend it, saying that they don't get to keep any of the money that they don't spend. Now, they cheat a little bit on these rules, spending a bit more time due to traffic and other logistical issues, but it is fun to see the first things that pop into people's heads when they know that they've got cash to burn and a very limited time to do it. It's mostly electronics, which honestly same, a smattering of Gucci garbage, purses for moms and girlfriends, which is really adorable, some payments to car loans, and some really blatant cheating where one of them banks a few $1,000s towards a future down payment on a house. And all of that got me thinking, if MrBeast did somehow appear out of nowhere and suddenly hand me a huge sack of cash, hint hint, wink wink, nudge nudge, MrBeast, what would I...
Hint hint, niche niche. You know, just a hint. Yeah.
I do with it? What would I spend it on? And more specifically, how could I optimally spend that money to get the most value out of it? Now, before you put in your guesses, let's agree to some terms. 1, you aren't restricted by age or location. So if it's legal somewhere to someone, it is legal and available to you. 2, you have to be able to complete the purchase within the hour. And 3, you have to use the money on something that is publicly available. So you can't, I don't know, buy the rights to the Beatles music, for example. Not that they'd sell that away for $100 grand anyway. All clear on the rules? Okay, place your bets now, and then lose those bets because, spoiler alert, betting is not the best way to spend all that cash. But we're gonna test it all anyway. I'm guessing that for a lot of you, among the first couple of ideas that come to mind are to buy a car. And that makes total sense because you can pick it out, you can spend the money all in one place, and know exactly what you got for it. I understand the temptation to pick up that Lambo off the lot. Wait, Lambos retail for what? $250,000? What? That's how much YouTubers are spending on this sort of stuff? So with a $100,000 budget, you can get yourself a Corvette, a Porsche, a Jaguar, a Hummer. You're just gonna have to leave the Lamborghinis for Jake Paul and all the YouTubers who get that fake investment money. But all those other cars are great options, or at least you think they're great options until you realize how much a fancy car like that costs to own. Let's say that you wanted to buy a supercharged
Maintenance, repairment fees, servicing, all this is going to be a burden. It's a responsibility.
2018 Jaguar XJL with a sticker price of a little over $92,000. Estimates show that the first 5 years of owning that car really cost you closer to $115,000, largely due to the depreciation of the car over time. According to Carfax, cars can be worth only 40% of their purchase price after the first 5 years. And surprisingly, luxury cars actually depreciate faster than regular cars. Some of the fastest depreciating cars of 2018 include 2 BMW models, Mercedes, Audi, and Cadillacs. So buying high-end cars is not gonna help you here. Luxury cars also have incredibly high maintenance costs. So while you may look cool driving around in your muscle car, you're paying almost $10,000 extra in insurance, $6,000 in repairs, and $16,000 on the premium gas that it requires. Sure, it may burn rubber, but buying an expensive car is also gonna be burning a hole in your pocket. How about real estate then? Everybody knows that buying a house or some land is one of the most reliable and stable investments that a person can make, unless of course it's the mid-2000s and the banks have been handing out mortgages like they're flyers to a free improv show. Historically speaking though, home prices tend to increase between 3 and 5% every year, and it's a huge deal to go from paying rent, which is basically like throwing half your paycheck into a black void, and investing in a home that you own and that's increasing in value year over year. It seems like a great deal, but then logistics become a problem. I recognize how lucky I've been to be in a position to buy a home, but let me tell you from that experience that the process is a long and grueling one.
Yes, buying a house? That sounds good. The process, not that nice to go through.
If you want to buy a house, you're probably going to want to look at dozens of properties. You're going to have to spend a lot of time researching the neighborhoods that you're going to want to live in, the ones that are also going to be appreciating in value rather than depreciating in value, and finally doing inspections on the house to make sure it's not filled with raccoons or mold. And then the inspection probably won't find the mold, but then you'll have some rainstorms in California and suddenly realize, oh wait, let's actually see what's going on behind the walls. Oh, they've been leaking this entire time. Our house is filled with mold that wasn't disclosed to us when we first bought the damn house. And then your kitchen ends up looking like mine does right now. Sorry, I'm going through a lot right now. Anyway, the long and short of it is that even if you have $100,000 in your pocket right now and you have the house that you want to buy, there's no chance that you're going to still be able to do it in an hour. You're going to need to sign about 3,000 different pieces of paper. It's not even something that you can describe in an hour, much less execute. And even if you somehow manage to backdoor deal your way into it with a house that you'd already picked out and a seller that you knew and the cash in your hand and whatever, it's just not something the average person can do without weeks and weeks of lead-up time. And so we're gonna have to let this one go. And yes, I know that MrBeast let this one slide in his video where one of his friends put money away for a down payment, but they were friends and MrBeast is nice.
And he's also from North Carolina.
Yes, I know, Stephanie. I know he's from North Carolina. I get it. I celebrate that. Good for him. Great state. Beautiful beaches, wonderful schools. But you know what? This is a cold, heartless theory, and so there's no rule bending here. What about a transaction that's a little simpler and a little bit more sparkly? Jewelry, and especially diamonds, are one medium of investment for a lot of the world's crazy rich people. So are diamonds not only just a girl's best friend, but also potentially a girl's best investment opportunity? Well, the initial outlook is good. If you're gonna buy $100,000 worth of diamonds and pearls, they're unlikely to depreciate as rapidly as a car and don't require nearly as much market research as buying a house. Also, no gas to buy, so just don't drop them down the sink and you're good to go. Except it's not our optimal purchase here. Because if you're buying diamonds, now you're dealing with the harsh realities of consumer capitalism, specifically markup. Historically, retailers who sell diamonds have a markup of up to 200%, meaning that they charge up to 3 times the price of what those diamonds are actually valued at. And even though modern online commerce has brought that down to 20% in some cases, you're still losing a lot of value just by making the purchase. In fact, gemstone markups are some of the worst of all products out there, alongside designer jeans at 350% markup, movie theater popcorn with a markup of 1,200%, and bottled water with an all-time 2,000% markup. I mean, if you needed another reason to carry around your own water bottle, jeez. To make matters worse,
I mean, wow. Wow.
on the diamond front, unless you're buying especially rare diamonds, such as ones of different colors, they're unlikely to appreciate in value all that much. So then why do super rich people put their money into them then? Well, because if you're already crazy rich, some of your investments can go to things that are guaranteed to grow and get you more value, and others could just go towards stuff that holds its value. Having a variety of stuff is called diversifying, and it's one of the best ways to prevent going completely broke in the event of a disaster. In theory, this is also the way that some of that Gucci stuff, or those handbags or watches that the guys bought, would also work, but for them to hold their value, those guys would never be able to wear any of that stuff or use the handbags because everything has to stay mint condition. So it seems like a no-go for a little hypothetical situation here. For all of us
You just know that all these are just hypothetical situations, so
looking for some real investment potential, or those of us who are still paying those crazy editing costs, I want to make sure
this showing is in live
that $100,000 goes a bit further. So there's gotta be some other way to put this money to good use. Let's rapid fire some ideas. How about all the tech stuff that the guys in the video bought? Super tempting, but actually the worst idea yet. Tech prices drop drastically year over year. So even coming back 6 months from now, a lot of those TVs and sound systems are gonna be worth a fraction of what they retail for now. What about rare collectibles? Nope, there's no guarantee that classic toys or baseball cards are going to go up in value, and the demand of those markets tends to fluctuate pretty wildly. So you're going to have to get lucky with the exact window in which you purchase them. If you're old enough to remember the Beanie Baby craze, everybody had them, everybody expected them to be worth something for some reason, and no one ended up with anything. Next, is there a way to gamble away that $100,000 that gives you a really solid chance of return? Nope, it's almost impossible. Sure, if you're already an established poker player, there's a chance that
there's a chance, but know that there's a two side of the coin. Blah. There's a win, there's a lose. There are two sides in the coin, in the coin. So take the risk or not. For me, I'm not going to take the risk.
Might pay off, but the vast majority of us would throw the stack down on the roulette table, throw the dice like we're in a James Bond movie, and then walk out so broke that we couldn't get an Uber. You know how they say the house always wins in Vegas? Well, That's because it does. Next, what about something completely off the wall, like buying exotic reptiles, or better yet, illegal drugs? Sure, that sounds exciting, if not an express train to the local lockup. But hey, bonus points for thinking outside the box. But would it work? Nope, it's just way too risky and also logistically really difficult. You'd already have to be someone who's well versed in rare or illegal stuff and where to get it, which is definitely not something you can just pick up after an hour of research. And not only that, you have to turn around and resell anything that you just bought illegally. And I don't know if you've seen every cop drama ever, but people who sell stuff illegally are spending a lot of time on street corners and dark alleys, which doesn't look fun. Reconverting things that are illegal back into legal cash isn't exactly simple. You can't just put out a notice on Twitter that you're selling endangered salamanders without getting the attention of people that you don't want to know you have endangered salamanders for sale. And then, if you ever get caught, you have to forfeit over everything. Not to mention spend a lot of quality time in unflattering orange jumpsuits. So what is it? Nothing sounds good anymore. It's not even fun to spend this stuff. But have no fear, Internet. I have the solution, and it's gonna be great. If you have $100,000 that you need to spend within 1 hour, and you're bounded by the laws of time and space, and you're looking to get the maximum value out of that $100,000 that you possibly can, the best option for you is diversified investments, like an index fund. And then you shovel that money into an independent retirement account or IRA. Yeah!
Yeah.
Awesome! Here I am, overthinking something to death and completely killing the fun of it.
Yeah, for retirement. So yeah, for growth and for the future. Yay.
The subtitle of this channel. But
overthinking something to death and completely clean the fun of it.
before you pass judgment on my solution, Internet, hear me out. It's a bit more exciting than it sounds. Trust me. This is something that's quick and really simple to do. It doesn't require much expertise or pre-planning, and it's available to everyone. So it checks off all the boxes of our little game. The really terrible thing about this plan is that it's gonna require you to be patient. You can't start taking money out of a traditional IRA with incurring a penalty until you're 60 years old. So if you're getting 100 G's at the age of 30, you've got a whole nother 30 years before you can do anything with it. And that's assuming that we're not living in a Waterworld-esque post-apocalypse due to global warming in 30 years, as I'm not sure investment banks are super helpful when they house coral reefs. But that's the con side. Here are the pros. In the short term, you get to write off about $6,000 from your tax return the year you make the investment, so that's gonna be a little bit of immediate cash in your pocket. But the real pearl is gonna come once you can start taking funds out of that IRA, thanks to the power of compound interest. We all know that the stock market is volatile, and in the short term, that's 100% true. A stock that shoots up today might crash tomorrow and vice versa. Sorry, Elon Musk, I know you're going through a hard time right now. But when you're investing in hundreds of stocks over years and years, like you would in a diversified investment portfolio, now the historical data shows us a solid upward trend. Just how solid are we talking here? Well, from 1973 to 2016, the Standard & Poor's 500 index had an annual return of about 11.7%. So if you invest that $100,000 in an index fund like this, at the end of the year, you would have yourself $111,700. An additional $11,700 in addition to the $100,000 that MrBeast just gave you out of his pocket. Now consider again putting that $100,000 into an IRA that's investing in index funds with an average return of this for 30 years. In that period of time, you'll run your $100,000 into $2,764,363.77.
So it's $2 million plus for your future generations, so that they can have a better life. You know, being a good, responsible human being. Yeah.
So you wait a long time, but the money is working like the dickens in the background, earning you millions of dollars without you even trying. All you had to do was spend an hour on some website purchasing some stocks. The moral of the story here is that Gucci wallets or Jaguar XJLs or diamond-encrusted grills might look nice in the short term, but if you're truly optimizing money, it's all about diversification and patience. Isn't that exciting, guys? Fiscal responsibility and forbearance.
Fiscal responsibility and forbearance.
Parents are the
Forbearance.
optimal ways to spend a boatload of cash that someone online just gives you. Though, let's be honest, I know that IRA might be the best thing to do with your money from a value standpoint, but you can bet your life that I'm taking a couple $1,000s out of that thing and spending it on an infinite Coke machine, converting that green into gold, liquid gold, baby. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for sticking around, because you know how MrBeast uses sponsorship dollars to give away the millions in prizes that he has in all his videos? Well, it may not be quite as sexy or exciting, but that sponsorship money doesn't go to waste here either. It goes to pay the massive team of editors who are constantly working round the clock to make sure these videos go up each and every week. It goes to pay our team of researchers who are out there making sure that the information we're giving back to you is as accurate and professionally sourced as possible. We're not spending this money on Lambos, we're spending it on the 401k plans of all the people who work around us. We don't get to brag about it all that much in the title of these videos, and you don't get to see me
providing employees with money for sensible retirement
walking
funds.
around the office shelling out cash IRL, but these videos cost a lot to make. Is it as fun as giving away to all these people who pick the right solo cup? No. But it is really important to us as people who care about our employees and as people who care about delivering you really high quality work. And that is why it really means a lot to us when you support all of our sponsors. Sponsors, like the one for today's episode, NordVPN. Because you supporting them encourages them to work with us more, which helps us keep the lights on. Now, in the past, I've talked about how Nord protects and encrypts all of your online data, how it works across all different devices, and how its servers are some of the fastest on the internet. But now, with the passing of Article 13 over in Europe, a VPN is actually going to be a lot more important than it ever has before. YouTube has stated in the past that it will have to treat Europe like a bubble. Stuff from the outside won't be able to get in, and stuff uploaded within Europe is going to really struggle to get out. Now, we'll have to see if they wind up doing that, but even if they do, a VPN will help you get around those restrictions, so you can still watch PewDiePie reviewing memes, or Jacksepticeye playing FNAF VR regardless of what country you're in. Or, heck, if you're a European fan of this show, you'll still be able to continue watching all the cringy humor of game theory and film theory, which I'd appreciate. Thanks to Nord, a few clicks and your internet connection suddenly looks like it's coming from a completely different part of the world. A part of the world that's not subject to such strict rules around IP usage, which in turn allows you to keep watching all of your favorite online creators. One subscription to Nord gets you coverage across 6 different devices with unlimited bandwidth. So go to nordvpn.com/MATPAT, or just click the link in the top line of the descriptions. You've been on YouTube, you know how it works, and you're gonna get yourself 75% off a 3-year subscription. 3 years! Considering that Article 13 is gonna take 2 years to implement, you are covered for those first 2 years, and then an additional year once the whole thing, when it gets real. Also, if you use the code MATPAT, M-A-T-P-A-T, at checkout, you're gonna get yourself an extra month for free. It's an investment in yourself, it's an investment in your security online, so I thank Nord for being a sponsor on this show. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go divvy up this sponsorship money in a much less fun, much less sexy way. Payroll! I wonder if the editors would be okay with me paying them on a double or nothing basis.
Oh my god, that's funny. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you find it share with us. Do remember to follow my channel. So it's like, share, and subscribe, comment, and follow. Thank you so much, and if you do like this video is from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. It came out in the year 2019, so I think it's around 2 years ago, and they are really funny to watch. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. Do remember to show support and watch more of their videos, and I'll see you next time. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. Responsibility. Becoming a good human being. Care for the future. Yeah.